Hey everybody, how are we doing? Good morning. This is Porto. Right, so according to my bosses at Google, the Dragao should be somewhere over there. Check this out, we found a fan club of Fluminense, I guess. Now there should be no surprise at all, considering the connection between Brazil and Portugal, right? So Porto is, to my understanding, the responsible place for the name of this country. It was back in the ancient Roman times that this place here was named Portus Cale, very similar to Portugal, right? So it kind of makes sense. Look at the tiles. So what they want to do is rebuild the thing and maintain the facade, right? 1965. Can you see anything in there? It's so funny that this camera can peek into places that I cannot. I mean, I literally see these spaces together with you in the computer. Check out the Dragao, man. Now there is this hole here, but I don't think it's necessary. Right, so let me explain to you all the ways that Porto are messing with our life. So you pay online for the ticket. It's essentially a ticket that is both for the museum and the stadium. They don't really send you a ticket back. You come here to collect your ticket. However, they kind of force you to pay extra for an app that is apparently the guide. Weird stuff so far. A merchant selling Porto wine and some English people from the local factories, together with some rowing aficionados, founded Football Club Porto. During the Salazar dictatorship, there were various teams that were forced to change their badges and all, but Porto was not one of them. They resisted and kept their original badge and the dragon. By the way, although I do have the app, I could not figure out how it works. The perks of being old and idiot, you know? Check it out. Against the regime, we will win. Big up Porto, man. So it says here that Porto resisted the dictatorship of Salazar, and despite the fact that Porto was not one of the favorite teams of said regime, they did manage to win stuff. So I'm not sure who was the favorite team of Salazar, but I think that during his reign, Benfica was probably the most successful team. But I'm not sure about any of this. Our Liverpool Football Club, Athletic, Betis, wow. Look at this, it says Atletico Bilbao. Probably the effect of Franco, right? Forcing Athletic to become Atletico, right? Just read this shameful stoppage time. They are extremely upset with corrupt referees and you name it. This cup weighs 250 kilos. I'm not sure if 250 kilos is only this or together with the emballage. This is called the Arsenal Cup for some reason. Very weird if you think that Arsenal doesn't win much. Sorry about that, that was uncalled for. And it's called like this because of Porto beating Arsenal in 1949. The Da Santas. They actually kept this from the Da Santas, from the wall poem. Are you alright, mate? Seems kind of frigid. Hulk smash. Paolo Futre, Deco, Ricardo Carvalho. A dream team has passed from here. So I have to say, man, this museum is wonderful. It's a pity that they kind of force you to buy that app, which is useless, at least to someone like me, with no brains to use it. And like every museum with some self-respect, you exit through the gift shop.
Hello,
Hi.
Hello, good morning.
Thanks. The thing is beautiful, man. This is a wonderful place, man. Look at this. We definitely need to make an effort to come to the derby, right? It kind of reminds me of Corinthians, but much more complete. I mean, it protects you from the rain a lot more efficiently. Look at this. the coach of Benfica. All right, so this is the moment you realize that. Let's see. So this team is top of the league. It definitely does not have to do with the chairs, man. They are way too comfy. Genoa levels. So thus far, in terms of comfy levels, Genoa is top of them all. I mean, these people, I wonder how they get up to play, you know? Bilbao is the worst of them all. And let's see what kind of comfort they have installed for the visitors. I think it's the same, right? Yeah, it's the same. Although, look at this chair. So this chair is trickier. Oh yeah, so if you sit in this chair, you're more on edge because of that iron thing, stopping you from relaxing. Can you see that screen, man? It's literally turning. So this stadium is very close, but it's not in the same spot as Das Santas. Das Santas is something like 5 minutes walk from here, or used to be. Now it's buildings, I guess. Das Santas was between these buildings somewhere. So this seems to be the VIP section. I don't understand why teams are doing this. All of them do it. Even my team does it. I would take visitors to the popular stands, man, and let them all know about the ultras, the culture, the super dragos, you know, the colectivo. I would not take them here. This is boring. It has great view, but it's boring. Now, as far as VIP sectors are concerned, I found funny that my team, AEK, has this incredible memorabilia of the refugees in the VIP sector, kind of weird. The VIP sector of Vasco, who was phenomenal in terms of not being so VIP, and St. Pauli was a class act. Now, I liked it. This whole experience gets a solid 7. The only reason for the 7 is that it's guided. But the girls doing the tour speak both languages, Portuguese and English. Yeah, that's enough, I guess. So check this out, man. The Portuguese are worse than the Greeks. All of these lines are in use except for this one. But it's strategically put there to mess with your soul, you know? But this is Boavista colors. Chess. This is the shirt they're wearing,
Yes.
you know?
It's a store from Boavista, right?
From Boavista, but it's very closed.
Yeah.
Probably because the team is closed.
So they open.
3 o'clock.
Yeah, 3 o'clock.
Let's see, what time is it now? It's 12:30. This panther looks phenomenal and very menacing. This is the reason why someone like me from Greece even remotely thinks about Boavista, you know? This shirt. This is such an iconic shirt, man. Torino, another club that suffers greatly because of the ownership. It looks mega menacing. Okay. Hi, can I visit the stadium? I sent a letter yesterday, but nobody answered.
At the moment, it's impossible.
You cannot peek inside from somewhere? Public relations. So Boavista, they do have a website where if you want to visit a thing, you need to send an email to arrange a visit. Now, I did send an email, but you realize nobody answered, and you saw the condition of the thing, right? There should be a way. There's always a way, right? It's one of the most beautiful stadia out there. It kind of reminds of Luigi Ferrari's. Boavista had this horrible owner that literally caused the thing to explode, you know? I think that guy had some sort of relation to what happened to Bordeaux too, but don't quote me on any of this. A couple of years back, Boavista were dead last in the league, so they relegated to the second division, and they were not allowed to register either to the second division or the third or even the fourth. So they ended up in the fifth tier of Portuguese football, man. The ultra group, the Panteras Negras, have formed a popular-based football club which bears their name, the Panteras Negras FC. The FC stands for Footballers Club, which is actually something that was also in the original name of Boavista. It says, "We are strong, we resist."
If
you go downstairs,
Yeah.
the place where
This car comes?
coming,
Yeah.
have a place from the people who training here. Also, they have a gym and something like that downstairs. Maybe you can ask. Maybe they can help you.
Thanks, man. Ciao. Boavista Football Club Boxing. Let's see. Do you think that Boavista will come back or that Panteras will rise?
Panteras will rise.
Panteras will rise, eh?
It's different. Boavista is club, not. We have Boavista Football Club and we have Boavista Football Club SAD.
Yeah.
The owner is the owner of the SAD, and the club it's not. It's from it's die. Boavista unfortunately die.
Yeah. So the only chance is for the Panteras.
Yes.
If I don't make it this year, I definitely come next year. I mean, it's a
You are
phenomenon.
welcome here.
It's phenomenal story.
The beginning of this beautiful story, and all the world going to talk about us.
Thank you very much, sir.
See you.
Thanks for everything. Ciao. You heard the guy, right? He didn't agree to be on camera, but he said he was the president of the Panteras Negras Football Club, Footballers Club, and also the leader of the Ultras. He said that Boavista is not coming back. The other parts of the club, the other sports will remain, but the football part, that is not coming back. They were the last team to break this top 3 thing, of Benfica, Sporting and Porto. So I had a look at the league table where this team, Panteras Negras FC, are, and what a surprise, man. Panteras Negras are on top of the league, while Boavista is rock bottom, This is such a sad thing to see, Lay back for a while and think about Boavista. I mean, not only do they play in a city where there is a juggernaut, like FC Porto, they do manage to be respectable and have their own faithful fan base until that prat of an owner comes and destroys literally everything. I mean, what happens to such a team, How do young kids grow up supporting Boavista, man, or the Panteras Negras FC? So we are back at the bridge, 45 minutes before that shop supposedly opens. This here is something like a training ground, I guess, which, to be fair, also looks horrendous. I mean, so the big stadium is that one, this is a secondary one, and this is a tennis court that has seen better days. Look at this, Boavista Aberdeen. You see, Boavista have this historic friendship with Aberdeen. Right, so the shop is open. Let's ask them, what a relic, right? I mean, the team doesn't exist anymore. So look how many sports they have, man. I mean, they even have Kung Fu. I want to ask you, how on earth do I get inside the stadium?
You have to ask the secretary.
I mean, it's sad, but at the same time, it's incredible having a scarf of a team that doesn't exist anymore, right? But how cool is this, man? I mean, Boavista has Kung Fu. Oh, look, there's an open door. Bom dia. Hi. Are you seeing this? We support clubs that don't exist. Sorry about that. Don't tell me it doesn't look like the Luigi Ferraris, right? I cannot believe I'm doing this, man. After Porto. Let's check the comfort levels. It's very dirty, but what the hell? Comfort levels acceptable. Obrigado. I mean, levels of happiness close to infinite at the moment. This is Henry the Navigator. He was born here in Porto. There. I mean, out of all of these buildings, this looks the most promising candidate, right? Or is it this one? Flipping hell, it could be this one. Look at this, Everton. What on earth are Everton doing in Europe, man? So look, it's almost impossible to talk about the Anglo-Portuguese thingy, you know, the bromance and all, without talking a little bit about that area, the Gaia. It's the area where all the good port wine is being aged. And there is a reason for this. There is apparently a sort of microclimate which is different from this side of things. So how does it work? The thing with port is that it has various degrees of sweetness, right? From the fermentation of the skins of the grapes. And the Brits have discovered that adding this little bit of sweetness in the normal wine makes it last longer while it's been transported back to England. You know how they say, right? We toast with a good wine. This is exactly what happened between the Brits and this here lot. Look at this. All of them are pointing to this Anglo-Portuguese friendship. This is the old way to transport the port wine. Remember, that area over there is packed with wineries, you know? Right, so we are across the river. Oh, look, a bird. We came here for the wine and we have some incredible views, mind you. So the place we are going is a port winery, I guess, called Taylor's. Let's see what we can find and taste in there. What a place, right? So only the wine that is produced here in the region of Douro can be named Porto, port. 30-year Tony port wine in the oak barrel. So this very, very old port, aged in cask for decades, some predating, wow, the Second World War. Interesting.
The flavor and the notes. This one is very fruity.
Oh, wow.
It has more mature flavors. So if it's younger,
Oh yeah,
it
the
has
spice.
very
Yeah.
For example, if you go to the 30 years, you're gonna start smelling some spices like black pepper.
Oh,
If you
wow.
go to the 50 years, even some tobacco. Yeah.
Tobacco. Haven't I destroyed my senses with the other two when I come back to this?
I think it might, because this one is pretty strong.
Adi Hellman, so look at us tasting wines. This is where the channel has brought us. This is a very nice place to experience the whole thing. And it's not the only one. I mean, right across it, it's another one. Look at the beauties of Porto, man. So I remember how terrified I was in Madeira when I got into one of these. These people don't realize that we also exist, you know? And by we, I mean people who have this fright of sudden death by falling from a big height. Anyway, so we need to cross that bridge because yours truly is afraid, but still. So let me tell you the story of the boat bridge of Porto that predated this one here. In the 1800s, the locals used to cross the river on a bridge made of boats tied together. So you realize that a bridge like this is not made to handle a big crowd. And when the French army invaded Porto, this is exactly what happened. Around 4,000 people died on that boat bridge, which collapsed because of the weight and are still remembered by the local people of Porto. Boavista Stadium is number one in our experiences in this city. This is number two, I guess. Look at all these buildings, all of them are abandoned. It kind of looks horrendous, but still. The phone is still here. Hello? So this place seems to be the place to be if you want to eat one of these. So look, the thing is as fresh as hell. It's glorious. Look, Sao Bento Station, built in the beginning of the 20th century. The tiled panels depict ethnographical aspects and famous events in the Portuguese history. Unfortunately, it's half restored, half not, but this is the Conquista de Ceuta. Unbelievable. So that is the reason why we were seeing so many Portuguese symbols back in Ceuta. Ceuta was actually first a Portuguese colony, because of the simple fact that the Portuguese were the first to get rid of the Moors. So they had this head start compared to the Spanish. Now the ships for this very start of colonial Portugal were made here. They all departed from River Douro and on to Ceuta. Now the locals have a special food in their cuisine called tripa. That is something that I wouldn't even consider tasting because it involves intestines, you know. So the reason this is a very popular dish is because it is made with the leftovers. Because the locals have this incredible fame of giving the best parts of the meat to the sailors. Unlike the Venetians, man. So the Venetians were giving biscuits to their sailors. The Portuguese were giving meat and keeping the bellies, with which they would make tripas. And this is why we wear hats, man, not because we were bald. Hey, how are we doing? Good evening. So I'm going to the Porto against Sporting game for the Portuguese Cup. The Portuguese Cup kind of favors the small teams. I mean, the first rounds are one game, and that one game is played in the home of the smaller team. Plus, the fact that many of the first league teams, you know, they don't really care so much about the cup. They focus more on the European games and such. So the smaller teams become killers of giants. But these two are no small teams. They are the giants. The other semi-final is between two of those smaller teams. Torreense are playing Fafe. Fafe, I think they are called. First for everything, man. We are stuck outside the Dragao, man. My ticket was... let's just say that it didn't work. cannot believe the shenanigans, man. I have to say though that if there is one stadium that you can get stuck outside, is this one. I mean, you have such a great view of the flipping visitors. You don't have a good view of the local ultras. I mean, I think the Super Dragos are here in this stand. How are we so dumb, man? Third-hand ticket and it didn't work. Where have you heard that before? So look, if I don't think I will stay till the end, man. I mean, imagine this goes to extra time. I will stick till the first half finishes and then I'm off. Sorry about this. Although, I mean, I repeat, this is the best stadium to not get in. Is this a good selfie, man? The selfie of our failures. Ay, ay, ay. This is an absolute disaster, man. I mean, to be fair, Viagogo did try. I mean, I have been, while this takes place, I have been chatting with them. They did offer an alternative ticket, but also that ticket shows that the owner, its owner, is already in. And there are also some people there in the turnstile that also have a sort of fight with the stewards. Could it be that it happened to more people than me, man? I mean, shared pain is better, I guess. I don't know. We deserve a goal. Not to be. One goal, come on, how difficult can it be? This Genoa. Oh my god, what is this? Olympiacos. Emirates Star. So it's the 46th minute. Now is the moment for a goal. Stoppage time goal. Come on. Not to be. First half ended, I'm not staying, although it does have potential staying outside like this. But it goes to show how tricky it can be to get tickets from, from third party. To be fair to Viagogo, every time I have needed them, they helped. I think I have bought 4 or 5 tickets along the years through them, not only for the channel but also previously. They always came through. I have no idea what happened today. This is probably the only thing we need at the moment to feel better. Right, so this masterpiece is called Bifana. I couldn't help myself, I already beat the thing. I tell you what, just eating this thing has been emotional, man. Okay, cheers. So we will watch the second half in this incredible bar of Fluminense aficionados with all the boys who are currently looking at me very suspiciously, wondering what is this black box that I'm talking to. So look at this man. In the first game, Sporting won. I don't know why I thought it was a draw. Sporting won 1-0.
Vai ser, mas não foi, vai ser. É bom. Agora, esfrega as mãos, são os gajos criaram uma oportunidade de cor.
Last second, foul Porto. Yeah, man, so it just finished 0-0, which means that Sporting is through to the final. These old fellows back there, they were treating the game like Porto has been going for relegation all season, completely disregarding the fact that they will win the league. So this is the house of somebody that apparently the neighbors did not like. They call him or her or it pork. Oh, look at this. Is this a shitty bag? It is, isn't it? What a weird neighborhood, man. So that road is called Heroism Avenue. And the building behind me is the former headquarters of the PIDE, the secret, or not so secret, police of Salazar. He actually sent into exile one of the bishops, which is incredible to say the least. Name is Dom Antonio Ferreira Gomes, and that was my effort to pronounce his name in Portuguese, so don't judge. And he was the bishop of this here city of Porto. Now in 1958 he thought it was a good idea, and it really was, to send a letter to Salazar commenting on the excruciating state of the poor people of this country and also on the relationship between state and church, contrary to the motto of Salazar, which was God, fatherland and family. Look at our guy. I think he is the second priest that I try to make an homage to on this channel. The first one was in Palermo, Padre Pino Pugliese. His attitude essentially convinced the Catholic Church to start supporting the idea of coming back to democracy. A fact that should make us wonder, you know? His mouth is filled with weird stuff, man. So, a second story that is absolutely phenomenal is the story of Humberto Delgado. He was a former general of Salazar's regime, of the Estado Novo. And it was also in 1958 when Mr. Delgado here decided to run for president in direct opposition to the hand-picked chosen president of Salazar. So you realize the shitstorm, right? So there is this interview that they are actually asking Delgado, okay, so let's say you do get elected, what are you going to do with Salazar? And he says, without hesitation, I'll fire him. So here's Humberto Delgado arriving in Porto at the São Bento station in front of a unique crowd of about 200,000 people, man. This is incredible for a dictatorship. So this building is the Museum of Photography of Porto. It was also a former prison one of these prisons that would first terrify your soul to death and then potentially make you the favor to leave this futile world. Anyway, so Delgado not only did not win the elections, I mean, they were rigged from top to bottom. General Humberto Delgado, 1906, 1965. By the way, in 1965 he was murdered by the PIDE, the secret police, close to the border with Spain. And here's our guy with a Portuguese flag. Similar efforts to oppose the regime was the MUD movement, which was predominantly left-wing, and also by Henrique Galvão. Henrique Galvão used to be a faithful follower of the Salazar regime until 1947, when he exposed the horrors of forced labor in the colonies. Galvão even went as far as to orchestrate the Santa Maria, which was a luxury ship, hijacking in order to draw international attention to the Salazar regime. You know how it is, right? That every regime has a moment that has its crack, you know? And it becomes visible to the people that, to the world, that it's vulnerable. His candidacy was that moment for Salazar's regime. For example, for another regime that is happening currently on our planet, the presidency of the Orange is one such crack, you know, on the hegemony of a certain nation. I have added some more to that thought, but I will censor it because, you know, we work for Google now. Right, for someone who talks so often about books, I completely forgot to mention this one here, man. So this line is waiting to get in there, and in there is a bookshop. The only difference between this bookshop and all the others is that this one is more beautiful than the rest. I tell you what, the moment we need to start paying tickets to get into bookshops, I don't know what to say about the world, man. Well, hello. So we are going to Aveiro today to meet one of you. And maybe, just maybe, get a chance to peek inside their beautiful stadium, which is visible from the highway. Greece had nothing to do with that stadium, nor with football, to be fair. Yeah, there is a door open, man, look. Wait, this is Joao. Joao, say hi to the camera.
Hey everyone.
So, I thought, until 5 minutes ago, I thought that Aveiro was the hometown of Rio Ave. I don't know why I thought that. It kind of made sense in my brainless brain. So, Esgueira is the basketball team, and the football team?
Beira-Mar.
So the Viking is something, right?
Yeah, it's something. Yeah.
It's definitely
part of
something.
The identity. Yeah, this one you can see from my jacket where it came from.
Hey, thanks, man.
This guy, it's him.
You? Look at this. 1959. Whoa.
The jerseys of the time.
Yeah.
I think he's still alive. Américo Neves da Silva.
Yeah.
Ele é daqui?
Ora, ali nos aitos. É?
Look at this, it's wool. Amazing, man.
LeBron James could.
LeBron James could not. No. It's the cost of the flag.
Yeah. And these are the donations.
Yeah.
To make it. Yeah. Mão de obra is like the craftsmanship, you know.
Yeah.
It was 560.
Now this is interesting because now we pay Instagram accounts to do that.
Yeah.
Even the ultras are paying Instagram accounts.
Só que ela começou com o desgaste e depois nós tiramos.
This is the port wine.
Yeah.
Look at us, man, discovering Portuguese basket. It's not that someone owns the team.
No. We are like fan. We will belong. We pay monthly a fee to be like, I don't know, a fan. You know. You know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, definitely.
And then
It's very cool, actually. He says it's ugly. I'm very curious now. First impressions, it does look weird.
Man, it's.
I mean, a lot of broken stuff.
Because it's been touched since like 2004. You know what I'm saying? The leak up our Carabao Cup
Yeah.
used to be here.
Yeah.
So in order to try to justify the maintenance of the stadium, annually 3.5 million euros.
But look, my town has also a stadium. Did you see that on the Patreon thing?
Yeah.
The rain cover has fallen. Now it's only the skeleton. I mean, the rain cover is off, so Beira plays here. Do they have fans? 32,000 people fit in here?
Yeah.
And
officially.
the team has about 1,000?
I mean, I don't want to be unfair to them.
Yeah. Let's try and let's find a door. What's happening here? Oh, there is another door. It looks like Udinese. They have the same color system like Udinese. I see this shape everywhere. Benfica has this wavy. Porto, Sporting have it.
Leiria also has it.
Leiria, yeah.
The architect of this stadium is the same who drew Leiria.
So it's obviously the same architect.
It probably was the trend at the time.
Or the government paying the same guy.
Yeah.
Because he's a friend of the government.
He's actually,
allegedly, we don't know anything.
He's a very controversial figure because he was an architecture professor in university.
Okay.
And he was caught.
Do they play in the first division or?
No, they play in the fourth. They are.
So Beira plays in the fourth division here. And teams like Casa Pia don't have a stadium.
Yeah.
There are no buses to bring fans here or something?
Nothing. Not even on those big games that used to be held here.
So it is based only on cars?
Yeah. The vision of our politicians.
That's kind of sad.
Yeah, I think that summarizes
everything.
And nowadays there are plans to make all that land into a magnificent golf field.
Really?
So we might have Trump
visiting.
come and invade Portugal too.
After Greenland. Greenland is first, Portugal is probably second.
By the way, did you see that they were going to think about the United Kingdom claim to the Falklands?
Who is going to think what?
The United States. I mean, and
think about what?
Like
supporting Argentina, Milei.
Yeah. You see all the pieces align.
Amazing. If Milei gets the Falklands,
he'll be forever.
He will be idolized.
He'll be.
People will forget how horrible he is. Incredible, man. We never learn. Look at this. Bilbao alcoholic army.
Yeah.
A cab.
I must say that it's the first time that I'm seeing this also.
Who killed football? Who killed Bambi?
Yeah.
So the stadium of the city used to be there, where the local team would play. So it's not that they demolished the old stadium immediately after building that monstrosity that we saw earlier. They waited. Beira got relegated. They returned here. They were enjoying themselves. They had big crowds. It wasn't first league, but still. Happy days. Everybody got around to push the team back up.
Exactly.
And suddenly the pesky government decides we don't need that stadium anymore. We need the space to expand the hospital. And this is the situation in 2026. The hospital is not expanded. The stadium is long gone. The local supporters are in depression.
It is historical. I mean, they are only of the few out of the big three that has a Portuguese cup.
Did they leave any kind of
no, man.
Memorabilia, something to remember?
No. The stadium was actually really nice for the. And imagine you are like, it's Sunday, for example. You are and you are going to watch your local team playing. You are drinking a beer, you are with your friends in this park right before, because the stadium was like immediately after the trees, you know. The main entrance, there would be like a gate, and long gone.
Long gone. So this parking was a stadium?
Yeah. It's not even a nice parking lot.
No, it's not. It's very dusty.
Yeah. So this used to be the stadium.
Oh, it does look good.
I've seen this in Brazil, also probably. But this is
Have I? Have we?
And these are the muliceiros boats, the ones that I told you that historians argue
Eh?
that they might have a connection to the Viking ones.
This is a gondola in steroids.
Yeah, basically.
Is Aveiro the Venice of Portugal or what?
No, I would be more happier if it would be like the Portuguese Amsterdam, you know?
You mean more drugs?
More everything.
Spain is closer than Lisbon.
Yeah, yeah.
So I made the fatal mistake to ask him what they think about the Brits. Be honest.
The Brits in Portugal, they are just tourists. And if you, I bet that if you ask
They are not-
Brits about Portugal, they will say, hey, it's a nice place to go on holidays. The beer is cheap.
I have been spending my time in Portugal advertising the biggest brotherhood.
It's the oldest. Indeed, it's the oldest. But nowadays, it's not.
Now they are just tourists. Bye.
Nowadays, they are just drunk tourists. Yeah,
Drunk tourists.
drunk tourists with skin sunburns.
Would you have taken Lisbon without their help? Be honest.
I don't know. I don't know. I honestly don't know. But I guess. And we were like fighting everyone, so.
And that's all from Aveiro, man. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye for now. Have you not seen all these thingies that are flying around from the trees, man? Half the city is sneezing. Anyway, this is our last day in Porto. So look at these spray messages. I have been seeing them all over Portugal, to be fair. And apparently they are calls to protest against a new law by the Portuguese government giving the freedom to the big companies to essentially fire you without compensation and taking away the right of the workers if they accept being fired with compensation or if they want to go back to the same working environment. Very interesting stuff. It is to my understanding that after this protest, the law ended up not passing. It's fascinating the way Porto looks, man. I mean, a big chunk of the city is under reconstruction, you know, and parts that are not look either extravagantly beautiful or derelict. Very, very interesting. Look at the thing, man. The magic of the Bifana in Porto. So from Porto and all its reconstruction, I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.